Oh no, way too seedy. You want a mushy pickle? Pickle something like that. That right there. Mushy pickle? Not mushy pickle. The only grape leaves I could find. Teeny tiny little ones. Oh well. Hi, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we are going to make a fermented barrel pickle. But before that, I need to sort through all of this produce, decide what is still good and what I'm going to do with it all, because unfortunately I've been holding on to some of it for far too long and it has started to go bad, you know, things like that. It's past its prime. So I need to go through it and I need to either preserve it, make a plan for it, or feed it to my chickens. And so that's what we're gonna do. First step, we are going to, this basil here, I know exactly what I'm gonna do with it. I'm going to make a basil salt. So kind of like an herb salt, but with basil. So we're gonna do that. This basil here is going to be dried for tea. And then these pickles are obviously going for our barrel pickles. Corn, I think we're gonna have tonight when we have tacos. This zucchini, it's the time of year when zucchini is left at your doorstep, whether you want it or not. This zucchini, which I did want, is actually going for, I'm going to make lasagna, and it's also going to be for a summer frittata that is just delicious. So we're gonna do that. And these tomatoes is what I've been holding on to probably the longest. And some of them are bad. I'm looking at them, some of them are bad. This white powder that you see on them is diatomaceous earth. That is just because they had aphids or something at one point. Helps keep the bugs away. And so we're going to just core those and put them in the freezer because I don't have time to can them right now. I believe that I'm gonna make a pizza sauce out of them. That's what we need in our pantry the most, but I'm not ready to tackle that right now. So that's what we're gonna do. And the other cool thing that I picked out this morning was my Armenian cucumber. The only one I got, the first one I got. I have no idea what to do with it now though, so we'll see. All right, so we are going to get these cucumbers put in the sink so we can get them cleaned, and I'm going to start coring those tomatoes. While my helper is cleaning my cucumbers, I am going to show you how I make my barrel pickles. This is my fermentation crock. It is pretty handy. I just got it this year though. You can also just make them in a large jar or a small jar depending on how many cucumbers you have. I have quite a few, so I'm going to go ahead and make them in this crock because I have the room for it. So the recipe that I use is very simple. It uses a quart of water with 3 teaspoons of salt. So that's 1 quart of water and 3 teaspoons of salt. So in this is 2 quarts. So I'm gonna go ahead and use 6 teaspoons of salt. And I'll just fill that up with water, dissolve the salt, and then as I stack my cucumbers, they're not pickles yet, they're cucumbers. I'm gonna stack my cucumbers in here. I'm also going to add dill. I don't have any fresh dill, like the green dill this time, but I do have fresh dill seeds, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I have fresh dill seed. I found some garlic still out in the garden, so we're gonna put some garlic in there, peppercorns, and I have a few grape leaves. It's supposed to help keep the pickles crispy, but this is all that, this is what I had. I made a crock already once this year, and this is all that's left. There's 1 pickle left in here, so I don't really have to worry about them being all that crispy for long because they don't last very long around here. We're gonna fill that up, and then as I fill it up, I'm gonna put it under my sink. It is kind of a weird spot, but it's nice and cold under there. And I'm gonna let it ferment for 3 to 5 days. Depending on how sour I want it, I'll check on it depending on the temperature. You wanna put it someplace that's dark and about 70 to 75 degrees. And underneath my sink is a perfect place for that because I can check on it daily and it's here in the kitchen. So we're gonna keep cleaning, and I'll show you when I stack them all in there. When I put my pickle in here, yeah, I'll cut that off. I cut off the blossom end and I cut off the stem. This one is a little big. We're gonna try it anyways. This one, I don't think it's gonna work. Let's cut it in half. Let's see what's in it. Oh no, way too seedy. You want a mushy pickle? Pickle something like that. No, thank you. Not here. Not in this house.
Yuck bucket.
Yuck bucket. Chickens are gonna be happy, huh? The reason this will probably be the last pickle, summer pickle harvest that I have this year, I'll do some fall pickles as well, is because they're starting to look like this. Do you see how they're misshapen? They're having water stress. I water them, but the pickles just do not like it this hot. Today it's 98 degrees outside, so they have stopped producing flowers. They've stopped producing fruit because it's just too hot. So we will go ahead and take those out of the garden and replant in the fall when it's a little bit cooler. Things like cucumbers, they're starting to stop producing, but tomatoes, okra, that is for us, that's just now producing. The harvest baskets are always changing. That one is large, but see the seeds are a lot smaller. Let's see if I can compare the two for you. That right there. Mushy pickle? Not mushy pickle.
And
I didn't slingshot anything out of your hand.
this.
Oh, that little guy. Uh-oh, man down. Can't use that one, touch the ground. Chickens.
5-second rule.
We're not using a 5-second roll when we ferment, you kiddo. That's yucky.
Babies.
Pickles,
Pickles. 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 Pickles.
garlic, black peppercorns.
Now we can.
The only grape leaves I could find. Teeny tiny little ones. Oh well.
Mom, is it on?
More dill, more dill. Layer that in there. We're also gonna add some of the peppers I have over here. Can you wash these for me?
Oh yeah.
Thanks. I think we might end up with a full crock.
Pepper time.
For the peppers, I'm just gonna slice them in half. These are some of our trick 2 peppers. They smell,
Tricked you.
they smell just like a jalapeno, but they have 0 spice. It really tricks the senses. It's kind of fun. All right, so we have our pickles in here. It is about 3/4 of the way full. Inside of here, we have layered our cucumbers, our peppercorns, our garlic, and our dill. We're gonna put just a little bit more on dill on top, and that's about it. If I was planning correctly, I would also be putting a grape leaf on top of here, but I didn't. And all I have is little baby grape leaves because my grape patch is 1 stem, so. But like I said, the grape leaves are to help try to keep them crispy, and I don't think I have that problem, so. My salt and water mixture here, and we're just gonna dump it in. This probably is not enough. You can do some science and some calculations and measure the pickles and measure the salts and all of that. There's all kinds of fermentation calculators out there, but I have been doing this recipe for a while, and
Very long time.
and it's been fine. For your water, you should be using a filtered water, an unchlorinated water, or water that you allowed to sit out for 24 hours because the chemicals in treated water will affect your fermented pickles. So. Oh, and my pickles are starting to rise. Let's go a little bit more. You want your pickles, I say pickles, I guess that's the country in me. I mean cucumbers, but they turn into pickles, but we just call them all pickles. All right, it is all submerged. I will take my weights.
And push them down.
Put that one in there. this one in here. And when these are finished fermenting, you can transfer them to a jar like this, another jar for your refrigerator. If you have the refrigerator space, you can go ahead and store them in a crock. If you have extra crocks, it's up to you. We did go ahead and put a cucumber in just to see what would happen, but it keeps coming out from under the weight. A big grape leaf on top also helps keep all of the little pieces submerged that get on top of the weight. So, all right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take clean water and we put it along the rim.
Why do you do that?
And you put this lid on top of it. You do that because it helps seal the yucky stuff from the air out and keeps all the good stuff inside your crock. Just scrub all the white stuff off of them.
White?
Yeah, like it.
What do I put them after I'm done?
Just put them here in the sink. I'll core them and put them in here and we'll put them in the freezer.
I can't get.
When I freeze tomatoes, I freeze them whole, just like this. Core them.
Yep.
There's barely any core in these Roma tomatoes, but if you have a bigger tomato, just core them, throw them in the freezer, deal with them later. That's all you have to do. Because in the dead of winter, that's whenever it's more fun to can tomatoes. Now, if you need salsa, you want some fresh salsa, you know, things like that, go ahead and do it. But if you are just overwhelmed by how many tomatoes you have, just freeze them. You'll think of something later. You'll come across a recipe and you'll be like, man, I wish that I had some fresh frozen tomatoes. Anything bad, just cut that off. There's some years we have gobs and gobs and gobs of tomatoes in the freezer. And there's some years we don't. And I think this year is going to be one that we don't because it's been just such a strange year. Our garden in the spring was so wet. And then, so our summer crops didn't do very good. And then it heated up and then now it's so hot and dry. So the summer crops, maybe they'll pick up later in the year. You know, sometimes that happens, but as of right now, they are extremely far behind. If we have time, when we get all this produce situated, we are gonna go start seeds. It is time to start another round of fall seeds. And the ones that I'm starting this week are going to be broccoli, onions. If you still haven't done your cauliflower, you probably still have time for that. Endive is another one that I'm gonna start because, like I told you before, fall, gardening in the fall. I like summer vegetables, don't get me wrong. A fresh tomato, it's great. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Stay tuned to see more